Starting this day at Buc-ee's in Florence. First thing I do when I visit a Buc-ee's location for the first time, grab a t-shirt. Nice baby blue color. Like most other Buc-ee's locations, there's a red trike with a big Buc-ee beaver in the back. I haven't had breakfast yet and I'm looking forward to a tasty burrito or maybe a biscuit sandwich. Looks like in those round containers is cornbread. Oh yeah. The brisket and neck tacos are very popular, and I was mistaken. Those are either keto omelets or souffles. Buc-ee's mostly sells either Pepsi, which I don't really like, but there's always one and only one Diet Coke spigot. And at 7:30 a.m., I can get an icy. I can't get a sluice at Wally's at 7:30 a.m. For something healthier, some cut or uncut fruit, also pieces of cookie dough, and there's the cake balls that I surprisingly did not like at the Tennessee location. Alright, I ate my breakfast, I got my shirt. Buc-ee's location number 15 has been clinched. Time to head home. On the left beyond the orange and white stanchions, a dedicated off-ramp to Buc-ee's. That's crazy. I'm now heading westbound on Interstate 20. There are 142 miles of I-20 in South Carolina, and there are plenty of roadside attractions alongside this stretch of highway. Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome everyone! Today I'm heading across Interstate 20, heading west back into Georgia. I'll be seeing a lot of roadside attractions not far from the interstate, including a lot of things to see in the capital city of Columbia. Gonna be a great day and great to get home. Let's go! I'm in Camden, South Carolina, at the remnant of the Camden Oak. This marker notes the Camden Oak was born as Camden began to rebuild after the U.S. Revolutionary War. Later, the opposition Continental Army twice tried to retake Camden, and twice they failed. In 1791, the town square was diagonally across the field from the Camden Oak, where George Washington was welcomed. The old town square is long gone, as well as most of the Camden Oak. Only this piece, which is a few feet tall, remains of the oak tree. Here's another view of the Camden Oak. If anyone knows when the oak tree fell, please leave me a comment. Across the street from the Camden Oak is this old Presbyterian burying ground. This is a Revolutionary War memorial, and there are some people of distinction buried here. This marker reads, "This memorial is dedicated to Revolutionary War heroes who were patriots of the old Camden district." Some graves are unmarked. It goes on to mention prominent people that are buried here. Walking over to this gravesite, which is the final resting place of the Scottish woman Agnes of Glasgow. The legend states she followed her lover, Lieutenant Angus MacPherson, across the ocean and the wilderness to Camden. However, before she found her lover, she had become ill and died, and she was buried here. It said her ghost haunts the nearby church and the surrounding forest, as she still is looking for her lover. People that visit this gravesite continue to leave offerings, such as that necklace and other trinkets. Agnes lived from 1760 until 1780. I can barely make out what the headstone says. Here lies the body of Agnes. I can't make out anything else on that headstone. Apparently the ghost hunting community has a fascination with this gravesite. I'm not sure what happened to Lieutenant McPherson, or if he was even in Camden. In this cemetery are numerous markers for those who fought in the U.S. Revolutionary War. You may notice coins on the headstones. Typically, a penny is left by someone to pay their respects, a nickel is left by someone that trained at the same boot camp, a dime means you and the deceased served together, and a quarter means you were there when the deceased died. Now in the capital city of Columbia, there are a few attractions here, including this.
Would you look at the size of that fire hydrant? It's gargantuan.
The hydrant is surrounded by big rocks and a fence. There's a sign here, no dogs allowed using this hydrant. Getting some size perspective from across the street, it's much taller than the building to its left. This is the world's largest fire hydrant. It's 40 feet tall, 675,000 pounds, was built to intentionally be bigger than the one in Beaumont, Texas. However, this one does not draw any water, so the Texas hydrant is still the largest operable hydrant, and this one is considered to be a work of art. In the same parking lot as this fire hydrant is another roadside attraction. I just need to walk across the same parking lot behind the trees. Take a look at this. It's a painted mural that looks like there's a big hole in the building, and the road goes through the hole and heads towards the sunset. This awesome mural is called Tunnelvision. There are actual guardrails that curve into what looks like the road, which adds to the optical illusion. I bet Wile E. Coyote would be fooled by how realistic this hole looks. Even this one-way sign is realistic. Here's a good view of one of the guardrails curving inward. This mural was painted way back in 1975 by an artist named Blue Sky. I heard this mural lights up at night, and the sun glows. I also heard dumb birds fly into this mural. This mural is impressive. Most impressive. Now driving into the downtown area to see some more quirky things. The Deep South was the epicenter of the civil rights movement in the 1960s. The 1964 Supreme Court ruling struck down segregation and affirmed the right to free speech, protest, and access to public places. Along Main Street in downtown, there's some interesting art between those two buildings. There's a very thick metal chain that's attached to those two buildings. The artist Blue Sky also designed this sculpture. The chain is 25 feet long and 5 feet in diameter. I'm not sure what the sculpture signifies though. The sculpture is called the Never Bust Chain. The chain is so huge, I can't imagine what could possibly bust that chain. On the building on the left, there's a marker for this sculpture, crediting Blue Sky with creating it in the year 2000. Right next to one of the buildings, the fancy clock. Every downtown has a fancy clock, right? Now let's head toward the Capitol building. There's some things to see down there. And there's the Capitol building. It's not a very big building, but it is very historic, as you'll see in a minute. In front of the Capitol building is this statue of George Washington. It was installed inside the lobby of this building in 1864, but eventually moved out here in 1911. The marker down here says during the occupation of Columbia by Sherman's army, soldiers broke his cane. They threw bricks at the entire statue and thankfully only broke the cane. Now looking from the rear of the statue, I wonder why they didn't fix it. It's been broken for over 100 years. But then again, the fact that the cane was broken is a historical event by itself, where the Confederate Army tried to destroy a symbol of our country's founding. Here's a marker noting the Capitol building has been designated a National Historic Landmark, and the architect was John R. Nirency from Austria. This is an impressive edifice with a lot of history, but there is some history made on the another side of this building. I'm on the side of the building. Notice there's a bronze star between those two windows. That star marks where Union forces shelled this building on February 16, 1865, just before General Sherman surrendered. There's another bronze star just below the window on the right. Another bronze star here, and you can see some damage directly to the right of the star. I think there are 7 bronze stars total. Here's another one, right next to some damage on the wall. Let's check out some other attractions in downtown. I'm just a block away. I kinda see the top of the State House. Now swinging around, and this is a mellow mushroom. Swinging around just a little more, and take a look at this very colorful rooster in the parking lot. Nobody seems to know where the rooster came from or why it's painted so colorfully. The rooster looks a little angry, and does it have a sharp tongue? The rooster might have something to do with the mascot of the University of South Carolina, which is the gamecock. There's lots more to see in this area, but first I noticed something else in this parking lot. Look at this old painted mural. It looks very old. It says American Cooking Colas, Dining and Cocktails. I guess there's a restaurant called Colas here. Looks like this guy has finished his martini and the lady is enjoying some red wine. I'm too young to be identifying alcoholic drinks. This is interesting. There's a gong decorated with yellow and blue colors. The speech bubble says for 30 years, Marvin Chernoff sounded a gong to celebrate creative excellence, big ideas, and success. Turn the handle and signal your own success. I think the gong is broken.
Okay, now it's stuck.
Walking across the street, there's a convention center down there, but what I'm here to see is the sculpture over here. This memorializes South Carolina's first responders and members of the military that lost their lives in the line of duty since 9/11. Let's take a look. Across the street from this memorial is this statue. It's not the sign for the Texas Longhorns. This hand gesture says in sign language, "I love you." But take a look at this hand. It's made from hundreds of smaller hands. In 2019, this amazing statue was made by 200 students from the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind. Each student traced their hand on a slab of steel, and all the little hands were used to make this larger sculpture, which is 4 feet tall. This is a beautiful sculpture and a wonderful message. Now in the Five Points area of Columbia, I'm not far from the UFSC campus. The F and the I signify the St. Patrick's Day Festival. B and E are the music scene. P and O are for the great dining here. I and N are the shopping. And T and S are the Fountain Plaza. And here's the shopping and dining area. Lots and lots to choose from. This is a very nice section of Columbia. Here's the centerpiece of Five Points, this beautiful fountain. It looks great on a hot and humid day. At the corner of Santee Avenue and Hardin Street, I'm still in Five Points, panning around to this unusual sculpture for a musical band from the 1990s. And here's a clue. This part of Santee Avenue is also known as Hootie and the Blowfish Boulevard. There's also a marker embedded in the sidewalk. It's in the shape of a guitar pick. The pick has several smaller picks, each noting the band's Grammy Awards and topping the Billboard music charts. Hootie and the Blowfish were very successful in the mid-1990s. Also, the band always announced at each concert, "We're Hootie and the Blowfish from Columbia, South Carolina." That's very awesome. They didn't forget their roots. About a block away, by this water feature, there's a metal structure. It says Maison Centrale. This is a prisoner of war and Hanoi Hilton monument. This is how former prisoner of war Colonel Jack Van Loan lived for nearly 6 years. Some markers on Jack Linwood Van Loan and his experience in Vietnam. The sculpture of Colonel Loan is meant to convey him finally leaving the Hanoi Hilton. As I leave Columbia, I'll drive the length of Interstate 126. Getting close to driving all the interstates in South Carolina. I saw quite a few attractions in Columbia. Pretty nice city, not too big. Actually not far from Columbia, in the city of Cayce. Take a look at this wireframe AT-AT. The building says distillery. I'm not sure if it's open, but in the yard here is this AT-AT. The sculpture was created by artist John Sharp in 2015 and is 16 feet tall. There are other sculptures in this yard, much smaller than the AT-AT. Take a look at them down below. Look at the weird looking wireframe face over here. Looks like wireframe people at the table. One is standing and one is sitting. And the one that's standing has a little mustache. Look how cute that is. Well, cute or weird, take your pick. Pretty interesting place. It's just a few miles west of Columbia. That's not far off the interstate, Benstown. Now let's head further westward and see what else I can find. I'm at this gas station in Pelion, South Carolina. And now I have an important question. Is what I'm about to show you a peanut or poo? Take a look for yourself. It's supposed to be a peanut to advertise the annual peanut festival held in early August. So I'm going to show this sculpture from several different angles. This side looks very smooth. It says score 1 for poo. Also, it's pretty rusted out on the bottom, where the object is attached to the pole. What do you think it is? Please leave me a comment that's not, well, crappy. Now in the city of Aiken, almost on the western side of the state. According to this marker, the gentleman on the bench is William Aiken Sr. The city was named for Aiken in 1835. Aiken was an entrepreneur, and he ran the world's longest railroad from Charleston to Hamburg, South Carolina, which includes the city of Aiken. Sculpted by Lynn Cayce on St. Patrick's Day 2011. This part of downtown is called the Alley, and there are a number of shops and restaurants here. This is really nice. This area looks almost brand new. I wonder how long this has been here. I'm not sure if this is new, but what I'm about to show you is definitely not new. This is the police station Archway, which was originally constructed in 1938. So this is where the police station entrance was in 1938. I walk a little further in, and in 1908, the entrance was here. Then I walk some more, and in 1884, this was the entrance, when it was the town hall. This is all that is left from the police station. It doesn't seem all that out of place since the other buildings are made of brick. They also kept the original light fixtures on both sides of the archway. I'm not sure if they still light up though. So let's see what else is here. The shopping and dining district has a few cool things to see. Over here is a unique sculpture. The container used to hold radioactive gas. Radioactive gas? Added to that container, it looks like protons and neutrons orbiting an atom. Surrounding this atomic art sculpture are a number of markers. Apparently, there was nuclear waste at the nearby Savannah River, and they developed a process to store and remove that waste. This goes to talk about what the waste looked like, kind of like a septic tank for nuclear waste. They convert the salty waste into something less radioactive, combine it with some other materials, which is then turned into solid concrete. The sludgy waste is stored into containers, just like the one displayed here. Finally, the containers are transported to a storage facility. So there you have it. In addition to seeing this interesting sculpture, I also got a lesson in nuclear waste and how to process it safely as possible. Here's a small obelisk. At the base of the obelisk it reads, "Beneath this monument are mementos of life in Aiken in the year 2000. On the other side, those mementos will be unearthed in the year 2100 to reveal something of ourselves and remind them of the passage of time. Only 78 more years until the time capsule is open. I might still be alive to witness that event. And there's a shield on the fourth side of the base of the obelisk. I don't know if Aiken is the entire South's best small town, but it's a pretty good one. A very good visit to Aiken." And that's it for my road trip paralleling Interstate 20 in South Carolina. Overall, I had a great trip through South Carolina. If you missed my previous 2 episodes, they're in my South Carolina playlist. It just goes to show there's so much to see once you get off the interstate. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye! Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. And I'm back. Welcome to Georgia.